God is here tonight, friend, awake in this room before you were, watching over the very thing you are doing this moment, lying down in the dark to sleep, not a distant God, busy somewhere far off with larger matters, here, close as the pillow under your head, near enough to hear the long breath you just let out. Maybe the day asked a great deal of you and handed back very little. The hours that ran long, the worry you could not set down, no matter how many times you tried, the words from someone that you have been turning over ever since, wondering what you should have said instead. You carried the whole of it from morning until now, and here you are, finally lying down, still holding it. So here is what we will do tonight. Not solve the day, not answer it, only lay it down, the way you just laid your body down, and hand the whole weight of it to Him. If you know how to pray, pray now. Even a single word is enough. A piece. If you do not know how, that is all right too. He was near the bed before you thought to ask Him to come. There is nothing to earn here, and no account of your day you have to give before He will take it from you. You do not have to have carried it well. You only have to be tired enough now to let it go. He is already close, closer than the dark. The way someone sits at the edge of a bed and waits, in no hurry at all, until the one they love has finally fallen asleep. Breathe in and feel how near He already is. Breathe out and let the day go with it. In slow, like the first easy breath once a long climb is finally over. Out slower, like the whole weight of the day leaving you on the tide of that breath and not coming back. Let the room grow quiet around you. Let the walls fall away and the day fall away until there is only the dark and your slow breath and the nearness of the one who stays awake over your sleep, so that lying down tonight is the safest thing you will do all day. Every other night we have spent together, we prayed words about God, a shepherd's song, a traveler's climb toward the hills, a keeper who never sleeps. Tonight the words come one step closer. Tonight the scripture we pray is about this, not about sleep in general, somewhere, for someone else, about the exact thing your body is doing right now. In this bed, in this dark, laying itself down to sleep. Long ago, a man named David lay down in real danger, on a night when his own son had turned an army against him, and there was every reason in the world to stay awake and afraid. And he wrote down what happened when he lay down anyway. 2 short prayers, an evening one and a morning one. The Bible's own words for the very hour you are in. People have carried them into dark rooms for 3,000 years and prayed them lying exactly where you are lying now. We will go slowly, one line at a time with long quiet in between, so there is room in each one to actually rest, not only to hear it. Let them be your prayer tonight, the same prayer a frightened man once prayed and then slept like a child. Psalm 4, verse 1, Hear me when I call, O God of my righteousness. Thou hast enlarged me when I was in distress. Have mercy upon me and hear my prayer. Notice where it begins, not with a tidy heart, all put right before he is allowed to speak. It begins with a man calling out in the dark, distressed, asking to be heard. That is where this prayer starts, and it is a good place for you to start too. Tonight, exactly as you are, still a little distressed, still asking. Thou hast enlarged me when I was in distress. There is a memory folded into that line. He is not claiming he was never in a tight place. He is remembering that the last time the walls closed in, God made room, enlarged him, gave him space to breathe again. And a man who remembers being given room before can lie down tonight trusting he will be given it again. So before you sleep, borrow his memory if you cannot find your own. There has been a night before this one when the thing pressing in on you finally loosened, when morning came and the fear that felt so certain in the dark turned out smaller in the light. He made room then. He is not out of room now. Psalm 4 verse 3. But know that the Lord hath set apart him that is godly for himself. The Lord will hear when I call unto him. The Lord will hear when I call. Not might hear, if he happens to be listening. Will hear. It is the quiet certainty a child has, calling out once in the night, already sure a parent is going to answer before the answer even comes. You do not have to call loudly tonight to be heard. You do not have to find the right words. The one you are calling has never once missed the sound of a tired voice in the dark. Set apart for himself. That is a warm, strange thing to say over a person. It means you were not overlooked, not lost somewhere in the crowd of everyone else he keeps. He set you apart on purpose. The way a shepherd marks one lamb, the way a parent knows their own child's cry out of 100 crying in the dark. Tonight, of all the rooms he is keeping, this one, and you in it, are not a number to him. Psalm 4 verse 4. Commune with your own heart upon your bed, and be still. Upon your bed, do you hear how near this comes to you? The psalm is not describing a temple, or a hillside, or some holy place you would have to get up and travel to reach. It says the bed. This bed, it knows exactly where you are lying, and it meets you there, and calls the very place you are already lying down a place fit for meeting God. Commune with your own heart in the last quiet of the day, when no one is asking anything of you, and there is nothing left to perform. Have the conversation you have been too busy all day to have, not with the whole world listening, with your own heart honestly in the dark, where only he hears it too. And be still. Those 3 words are the whole of the instruction for tonight. Not fix, not solve, not lie here rehearsing tomorrow one more time. Be still. Stillness here is not emptiness, and it is not idleness. It is the deep quiet of someone who has stopped striving because he finally remembered he was never the one holding everything together. Let your stillness be that full tonight, not the absence of something, but the presence of someone already near. Psalm 4 verse 6. There be many that say, who will show us any good? Lord, lift thou up the light of thy countenance upon us. Who will show us any good? That is the voice of a tired crowd. The same voice that can rise up in you at the end of a long day, wondering if anything good is actually coming, or if this is simply how it is now. David hears that voice. He does not pretend it away, and then he turns from it upward and asks for the one thing that answers it. Lift up the light of thy countenance. Not fix every circumstance first. Only let me see your face turned toward me, and that will be enough to sleep on. The light of a face turned toward you. You know what that is, even in the dark. It is the difference between a house that is only quiet and a house where someone who loves you is home. The light you are asking for tonight is not a lamp you have to leave burning. It is the settled knowledge that his face is already turned toward this room, toward this bed, toward you, and it does not look away while you sleep. Psalm 4, verse 7, Thou hast put gladness in my heart, more than in the time that their corn and their wine increased. More than the time that their corn and their wine increased. In his day, that was the picture of a good year. Barns full, a harvest in, every reason to celebrate. And he says the gladness God put in his heart runs deeper than all of it, deeper than a good day, deeper than everything finally going right, which means it does not drain away just because today did not go right. So if today gave you no harvest, if the barn is not full, and the year has not gone the way you hoped, hear this before you sleep. The gladness on offer tonight was never tied to the size of the day. It is a gladness God puts in, not one the day hands out. And a gladness put in by him can be there in the dark of an ordinary Tuesday night, quietly, underneath everything, whether the day earned it or not. And now the prayer arrives at the line the whole psalm was walking toward, the line written for exactly this moment, when the lamp is off and the day is behind you, and there is nothing left to do but lie here and sleep. Psalm 4, verse 8, I will both lay me down in peace and sleep. For thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep. Read it slowly and notice what it is describing. It is describing you. Right now, this is not a prayer about someday or about someone braver than you. It is the exact motion your own body just made, laying itself down, put into words 3,000 years ago, and kept all this time for this night. You are not only reading the psalm tonight, you are living the line. In peace. Not once every worry is resolved, not after the day is finally explained. In peace now, in the middle of things still unfinished, because the peace was never going to come from the day being finished. He lies down in peace before anything is fixed, and so can you. The peace comes first, the sleep comes after it. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep. Let those be the words you fall asleep inside of tonight. Not a wish, not a hope for a calmer life somewhere down the road, a settled thing decided in the dark that this is how you will lie down in peace, and this is what will follow sleep. For thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. Only, that single word is the hinge of the whole line. Not my locked door, not my careful planning, not one more hour of lying awake, making sure everything is handled. Thou only, the safety you can actually rest in tonight, was never the kind you built for yourself. It is the kind He alone keeps, while you do the one thing safe people get to do, which is close their eyes and stop keeping watch. Lay me down in peace, say it once more, slower, and let your shoulders hear it before your mind fully agrees. Lay me down in peace. This is not you talking yourself into calm. It is you agreeing with what is already true, that the safest place in the whole world for you tonight is exactly where you are, lying down, held. There is a second prayer from the other end of the same night. If Psalm 4 is the prayer of a man lying down, Psalm 3 is the prayer of the same man waking up to tell you what happened in between. It was written on the worst night of his life, when his own son had turned against him and driven him from his home, and there were more enemies than he could count. If anyone had a reason to lie awake, it was David on that night. Listen to what he says instead. Psalm 3, verse 3. But thou, O Lord, art a shield for me, my glory and the lifter up of mine head. A shield for me, not a shield in general, propped somewhere back in the armory. For me, held up on the exact side the blow is coming from. Whatever you have been bracing against tonight, whatever you keep half turning to face in the dark so it cannot catch you off guard, there is already something between you and it is not you. You can put your own arm down now. The shield does not sleep when you do. The lifter up of mine head, that is the gentlest thing in the verse. A bowed head is what shame does, what exhaustion does, what a long defeat does. It bends the head down until you can hardly look up. And God, David says, is the one who reaches down and lifts it, not with a lecture about why you should feel better, with a hand under the chin, the way you would lift the face of a child who cannot bear to look up until they see there is nothing in your eyes but love. Psalm 3, verse 4. I cried unto the Lord with my voice, and he heard me out of his holy hill. I cried, and he heard me. That is the whole of the transaction. No perfect words, no composure, only a cry, the plainest thing a frightened person has to offer, and an answer. If all you have tonight is the cry, it is enough. It was enough for David on the worst night he ever lived. And the same God is listening out of the same holy place tonight, close enough to hear a voice that barely rises above a whisper. He heard me. Past tense already done. David is not still waiting by the time he writes this line. He asked, and he was answered. And now he can tell you about it the way you tell someone about a storm you have already come through safely. Whatever you are crying out tonight, you can borrow the certainty of a man who already knows how this ends. He heard, he hears, He will hear. And here is the line, the one that answers Psalm 4's prayer with the proof that it holds. The evening prayer said, I will lay me down in peace. The morning prayer says what happened next. Psalm 3, verse 5, I laid me down and slept. I awaked, for the Lord sustained me. I laid me down and slept. On that night of all nights, with an army behind him and his own son leading it, he lay down and slept, not because the danger was small, because the one holding him was greater than the danger. If David could sleep on that night, the fear keeping you up tonight, real as it is not too big for the same hands to hold. I await, one small word, and the whole promise turns on it. He woke up. The night that looked like it might swallow him did not. Morning came, and he was still there to see it. This is the quiet thing your body forgets every single night and has to be told again. That sleep is not a letting go into nothing. It is a handing of yourself to someone who keeps you through the dark and gives you back to the morning. For the Lord sustained me. There is the reason, and it is the only reason. Not that he was brave enough, not that the threat turned out to be nothing after all. The Lord sustained him, held him up through all the hours he was not awake to hold himself. And that is the most comforting thing about sleep. Once you finally see it, the moment you let go, he does not. You stop keeping yourself, and he does not stop for a second. Think about what sleep actually is tonight. For a few hours, you will lay down every one of your defenses. You will not watch the door. You will not manage a single thing. You will be as unguarded as it is possible for a person to be. And that is not a danger. It is the safest you get all day. Because the whole time you are not keeping yourself, he is. I laid me down and slept. I awaked, for the Lord sustained me. Psalm 3, verse 6, I will not be afraid of 10,000s of people that have set themselves against me round about. 10,000s set against him all around. Whatever is set against you tonight is likely smaller than that. And even if it is not, listen to what he does with the number. He does not deny it. He counts it honestly, 10,000 all around. And then he lies down anyway. Courage here is not pretending the trouble is small. It is being so sure of the one holding you that even a real, uncounted trouble cannot keep you from sleeping. I will not be afraid, not because there is nothing to be afraid of, because fear is not the last word once you know who is keeping the night. So whatever has set itself against your rest tonight, the worry that came in with you, the thing you cannot fix from this bed, let it be there, counted and honest, and lie down in front of it anyway, unafraid. Because the same Lord who sustained a hunted king is sustaining you. And now both prayers have been prayed, the evening one and the morning one, the lying down and the waking up. And there is nothing left for you to do but lie here in the dark and let them be true. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep. For thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. I laid me down and slept. I awaked, for the Lord sustained me. In peace. Come back to those two words now and stay there. Not a peace you have to arrange before you are allowed to have it. Not a peace that thins out the moment a worried thought drifts back through. A peace already given. The same peace that let a hunted man sleep on the worst night of his life. Let your breath slow to the size of it. Let your body settle into a safety you did not have to build. Lay me down in peace. Let those words move slow through you, over and over. The way a hand rests once on a tired shoulder and simply stays. Not patting, not urging, only resting. Lay me down in peace. Whatever you were still holding when you came in here tonight, you can set it fully down now. The peace does not depend on you holding it up. Let that be the last thing you set down tonight, and the last thing you need to. Everything after this is only rest. There is no test at the end of these prayers. No last thing you have to get right before you are allowed to fall asleep. No proving you were peaceful enough, or brave enough, or certain enough to deserve the safety that was offered freely from the very first word. He does not ask you to feel safe before you sleep. He simply keeps you safe while you do. So let the last of your own watching go now. However small a piece of it is still holding on, and hand it over the way you would hand over something you have been gripping too tightly for too long. And your breath is slower now than when we began. In and out, nothing left to guard, no danger left for you to keep watch over tonight. Only this peace, and this quiet, and the one who holds you through every hour you will not be awake to feel him do it. Let every sound you were half listening for tonight go quiet now, one by one, the way a house settles once everyone inside it is finally, truly at peace. You do not have to stay half awake for any of it. He sustains you, so you finally fully can sleep. This is the last stretch now. Nothing more to settle, nothing more to keep watch over. Only the prayers said once more, slow. The way you lay a tired child down and simply stay a while by the bed. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep. For thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. I laid me down and slept, I awaked, for the Lord sustained me. And you are held now, and you are kept, and you are not the one who has to stay awake over any of it, and there is nothing left for you to do but sleep. Asleep now, asleep. The peace does not lift while you rest inside it, and you are safe, and you are held, and he is not going anywhere all the long night through. He sustains you, and there you will lay you down, and there you will sleep, and there you will wake again, kept and gentle and unafraid all the long night through. Rest now. There is nothing more to guard, and nothing more to fear either. The peace is near, the night is safe, and it will stay safe, and all is well, and all is kept, and all is at peace. For thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety, and you are lying down at last in peace, and kept in home. Asleep now, asleep slowly, He sustains you, and it is well, and it is safe, and it is at peace all the long night through. The worry you carried into this room tonight is still out there somewhere, waiting for morning, and you do not have to pick it back up again tonight. Do not have to keep turning it over in the dark, weighing it, wondering how you will meet it tomorrow. Tomorrow has its own strength, already waiting in it for you. Tonight was only ever meant for rest. You do not have to lie here settling tomorrow before you are allowed to sleep tonight. It will keep exactly as it is until morning, and morning will come, the way it came for David after the longest night of his life, and it will find you sustained and rested and still here, given back to the light by the same hands that held you through the dark. Whatever part of you was still keeping watch tonight, the mind still listening, the shoulders still braced against the dark, let it finally lie down too, and rest in the peace that was already yours. There is no danger left for you to guard against alone. There never really was. The peace does not lift again tonight. The safety does not thin or shrink or wear off toward morning. It stays steady the whole way through, however long the night runs, however heavy today was before you finally lay down. Sleep now in peace and kept and loved until the light comes back on its own in its own time and finds you still here, still safe, still sustained by the same hands that never once let go while you slept. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep. Sleep now and rest and lie down in peace. For the Lord alone makes you dwell in safety all the long night through from this time forth and even forevermore.